Woo! It's the Zach Sang Show.
Yeah.
We
What
got
up?
Heather.
Hi, you forgot my name?
We got Dan.
Hey.
And we have Ari Leff, a.k.a. Lauv.
What's up? What's up?
What an honor.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Look at you, king on top of the world. Seriously.
Yep.
I don't know about that.
Is that how he describes
is that the new? Yeah, I'm like,
Well,
whoa.
that's how I'm going to start describing you. You have two
Crazy.
songs that aren't yours that you've written on out right now. Boys being one of them, the Charlie XCX song.
It's a fun one.
I mean, yeah.
That's a fun one.
Definitely a fun one.
Explain your role within that song.
Yeah, so I actually there was originally somebody had like the hook, and this really dope producer had the hook and the track.
Isn't the hook just boys?
Yeah,
Oh,
but it's genius.
About boy. Yeah, it is.
I think it's a genius hook. And then like me and one of the guys I live with, who I write a lot of my stuff with as well, and another friend of ours, we got on the song and wrote some verses, and it was a very interesting process. There's definitely there's a handful of people on the song, but it was an amazing collaborative process. And then it was just awesome when Charlie heard it, that she loved it and wanted to work on it. So
Were you in the studio with these guys, or did you just get the hook and then create around that?
I've been in the studio with the guy who created the hook, but in this particular instance, he wasn't there.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
That's professional.
He's a busy man.
Yeah, right? It's his mom.
It is my mom, actually.
It was
so that's
really-
embarrassing.
It's
Yeah.
Doreen.
Yeah, you know.
Doreen, stop it. You're embarrassing me. Wait, so, okay.
No, moms are the best, man. Like,
Yeah.
if my mom texted me, I'd be like, yo, hold up for a second.
Same.
Stop telling me your story. I don't know. I'll get back to her. We talk like twice a day at a minimum. It's
Okay.
Like, even if it's like the really short conversation,
Are you also a mama's boy?
I don't really want to be, but I think I just am by nature.
I gotta say, I'm definitely a
Same.
mama's boy.
Talk to my mom all the time.
Same,
Yeah.
mama's boy.
Nothing to be
Yeah.
embarrassed about.
Especially
Is your mom in San Francisco?
Seattle. My parents
Nice.
live in Seattle now, yeah.
How often do you go back and forth?
I go to Seattle probably like 2-3 times a year. It's
Cool.
a really beautiful place.
Are they coming here at all?
They've only been once since I moved. But
It's only been a year, though.
yeah, it's true.
Back to boys.
Yeah.
Did you write around the hook? Yes.
Yeah.
So you didn't even get into a studio with these guys?
Not with the guy who wrote the hook. I mean, I've worked with him in the past, but
Got
yeah.
it.
Yeah, every songwriting experience is very like different and interesting. It's like some songs, it all happens in one room. Sometimes, somebody has amazing ideas, but they can't figure out something else. And like, why not? It's the new age. You can just collaborate, send something to somebody, and they can help.
See, it was weird. Like, Khalid was in our studio the other day, and he said he doesn't like working that way because he's a human energy guy.
Yeah, I mean, I would never do any of my like the Lauv stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really, like if that feels really weird to me. I'm very particular about who I like to work with for my stuff.
It's also really personal to you.
It's really personal because like especially like I get put in the studio with a lot of I'm really lucky, like really amazing people, but I found there's like a couple people that I love to work with that I'm just like close with, that I feel like really I can be really vulnerable around and like just be very honest.
And you realize that was like an important part of your artistry because you watched a Paul Simon interview, right?
Yeah, I read an interview in a book just kind of like randomly. Like my friend when I was in college, he had this book on his shelf. And it was called like Songwriters on Songwriting. And I was like, yeah, this looks dope. So I opened it and I was just scrolling through and then found this Paul Simon interview where he's talking about how like his whole approach is not like, what do I want? Like, what am I trying to say today? It's more just like, let's just see what happens. And like, what am I subconsciously feeling that I'm not necessarily acknowledging kind of thing, which is like my favorite way to write. Cause like you surprise yourself.
And it's not necessarily what you're trying to say. It's really kind of like what you're thinking in between what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just think like as people, like everybody on a day-to-day basis, just because of, like evolutionarily, that's a word. And we have to play a role in society and everybody filters themselves in whatever way, to be appropriate for whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
And like this, to have like that one place where I can like just go and like not try to accomplish anything in particular and see like what's really going on in here is like the best feeling.
But you
ever.
have to like, is it a process to be like, to really like think about things that way? Like, is there like, does it just happen? Like, where are you when you like to like soak in your own thoughts, I guess?
I mean, a lot of times, like for example, like my song "I Like Me Better," like I was just like playing chords. I got a new synth sound, and I was just playing chords, and like the chorus just kind of like came to me. I wasn't like, I want to write a song about the beginning of a relationship and falling in love and being young. It just kind of happens. I think the best because I spend a lot of time overthinking everything in my life. So it's nice to just sit down. Yeah.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
You started writing love songs and breakup songs when you were 14 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Deep 14-year-old.
I don't know how. Yeah, like my dad would always be like what? Like I would play him songs in the car. He'd be like, why isn't there another one that's like, yeah, I don't know, because I hadn't even been in like an actual relationship at that point.
But what were you watching a relationship? Were you?
I was just. I think I always just like. I just always, for whatever reason, just been like a romantic kid, I guess. You know, like I just always like, for whatever reason, the idea of love and whatever. Yeah, just always kind of a thing.
When was your first girlfriend?
I mean, I've had, like, let's see, like first serious relationship was college. That's been like my only serious relationship.
And that's
other than that, it's like had a couple like, you know, small things in like high school that weren't really like things.
But the I Like Me Better is about that relationship you had in college.
Yeah.
And that was your first real one.
Yeah.
Did you feel like a better person because of your partner?
Yeah, a million times. I just feel like she brought out like the best parts in me, like things I didn't know that I had kind of in me, which I think is like the coolest thing about a relationship when you're young is sometimes you don't realize you have certain things inside of you, and somebody else who didn't know you previously is like, yo, like you're like whatever, like they were like, you look really dope doing this, or like whatever it might be, and you're like, oh really, and you're like, okay, cool. Yeah.
I've believed very strongly for a while that is what you want in a relationship, right? Somebody who's going to make you a better version of you. And I have terrible luck with relationships historically and currently.
Oh no.
And I feel like it's because I enter the relationship with that sort of mindset that it ends up just me.
Really?
Like, yeah, like I enter it thinking like, oh my God, I want to leave this date feeling like a better version of me, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's bad.
I feel like it takes time to get there.
It's a process.
It's definitely a process. Yeah, I don't know if you can expect it.
How long did your relationship last with that girl in college?
I mean, it was all of college. Yeah.
Why did it end?
I moved here to LA.
And where is she?
Back in New York.
Does she do anything creative? What does she do?
She works in the music business.
And this couldn't continue?
It's just like being really, really young, and moving across the country and kind of, figuring your life out. It's just,
You need time.
yeah.
What'd you
Yeah.
learn from the relationship?
Oh, I mean, too many things. Yeah. That's like a hard thing to just like list. Like, what did you learn from the
Well, it's 4 years of your life with the same person
yeah.
at like really one of the most like crucial stages in anybody's life.
Yeah. I mean, definitely.
Did you say I Like Me Better is written about this girl?
Yeah.
So is it weird having to sing it and have it be such a popular song and you keep getting reminded of her?
It's definitely weird. I try not to, I prefer not to be too specific, about, I don't want to bring anybody into something that doesn't need to be brought into, if you know what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Obviously. And I mean, at the end of the day, like you have a great song that's kind of like a time capsule in your life for that moment in that relationship.
Yeah.
That I think, like, to your point, Dan, when you sing it and you perform it, it might bring up bad memories, but you can look back, 50, 30, 60 years down the line.
Yeah.
And you'll be transported back to that moment.
Yeah.
And also, without that relationship, you wouldn't have this massive hit. So you
Yeah.
got to thank her for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely a million times over, yeah.
Dude, I mean, that's crazy, right? Because even before you started doing your own stuff, you were writing for other artists back in New York.
Yeah, that was like my goal for the first couple years of college. It was like being a writer and producer for other artists.
And what changes within you that you go, okay, I'm going to take this focus and this passion I have for other people and funnel it into myself?
It was a couple things. I think, when I wrote my first song, The Other, I was just like, wow, this feels way different than anything else I've done. Like, it's like really real, really vulnerable, like really raw. And I was honestly like, it was a no expectations thing. I was just like, I shouldn't give this away. Like, I'm just going to put it out and see what happens. And then from there, it was like, I realized that's the best feeling to me, I just is saying what I want to say in like the most honest way that I can. And so I feel like, I'm able to do that and have more control, when I'm doing it myself and not trying to make songs for somebody else
So it's a different version of you when you're in the room for somebody else than it is when you're writing for yourself.
Usually, like there's like, I'll hold like my favorite stuff closer to me. If I think it might not be a song for me, then I might not bring an idea up.
How often are you in the room writing with other people?
Right now I'm currently pretty much only doing my stuff. I'm
Got
doing
it.
a little bit of sessions here and there. But it kind of, it depends on the timing.
So are you a producer first, or do you not consider yourself one or the other? Or like, you know what I mean?
To me, it's an interesting question. I don't really consider myself anything like first, because it's hard to explain, but to me and it sounds kind of like ethereal, but it's all kind of just like energy. Like to me, like I can't always produce an amazing track. Like I'm not 100% of the time going to be the best producer to do something, and I may not 100% of the time be the best songwriter to do something, but I know like when there's like a certain kind of energy and like something I'm trying to portray, it all lines up and I can produce it and I can write it, and yeah.
And that's why you're all hands on deck for all of you. Do everything when it comes to you.
Yeah. I mean, I co-write as well, but yeah.
So when you're producing, like I saw the video you made in your room, like the one you put on Twitter.
Yeah.
So were you in there making a song for you, or you just make the music and you're like, all right, this could be for me or this could be for somebody else?
It depends. Like sometimes it'll surprise me and I'll be like, yo, this is like a really honest song, so I'm gonna keep it. But sometimes I'm like, I definitely want to write a me song today. And then sometimes I'm like, I want to write a me song, and then I'm like, it doesn't feel like I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many songs do you have chilling on your laptop?
Oh, a lot. So yeah, a lot.
Do you go back and listen to them at all, or you just focus on creating the next?
No, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I'm currently working on finishing a bunch. So yeah.
How many in progress?
I mean, I would say at least 20. Like I have tons of songs. Yeah, and trying to figure out which ones are gonna fit here and there. I have a whole like,
Are these
plan.
are these like songs with lyrics, or are these just like the production, or are they a little bit of both?
Various. I mean, I have a lot of completed songs. A lot of them were like, maybe 90% there, and then I have some where it's like a really amazing idea that I can't figure out, how to finish yet. But yeah.
No Promises, Cheat Codes and Demi Lovato, another song that you were on.
Yeah.
Did you write that song outright? How many people did you work with on it?
I did it originally with my friends Loot. They're and I don't know if you guys have heard them.
I have heard of that.
Okay, they're awesome. They're really, really cool. Back in New York. A couple of friends of mine. Yeah, we went in that day with really no particular expectations and started that song.
Who came up with, Promise Me No Promises?
I mean, it was all of us. Yeah, we were in the room. We were kind of just throwing out a bunch of ideas. Like a lot of times it'll be like somebody will throw out like kind of like maybe it'll be like promise me that whatever, and you're like, what if it was promise me no? And, it's very collaborative.
That's cool.
Especially with them. Like we our energies are very like aligned in that way. So yeah.
And the trumpets on "Like Me Better When," right? Is that you?
Yeah, it's just my voice.
What?
Oh, that's cool.
I had no idea.
That thing.
Yeah, I thought it was I thought that like there's a whole like breakdown of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was an instrument.
No, it's just me. Like I was when I originally started that song, I got that idea, so I voice memoed it because I was like, I don't want to forget it, and then I just like sent it, I emailed it to myself, and pulled it into my Logic session. And then I was like, okay, I'll probably replace this with an instrument later. And then instead, I was like, wait a second, it's kind of cool if I just spent hours just throwing random things on it, and then all of a sudden it sounded like a weird, I don't even know, trumpet violin thing.
That same voice memo like file.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, it's fun. I actually love doing like kind of lo-fi, just on my iPhone and then sending it to myself.
The future, man.
It's fun, yeah.
I can only imagine what those voice memos sound like.
A lot of them are really bad. Really bad.
But today they're bad and tomorrow they can be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
You don't know.
That's true.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Why do you enjoy writing sad songs so much?
I don't know. If I understood, maybe I could get over it and stop. I don't really know. It's just kind of cathartic. Like a lot of my favorite just songs in general are really like either they have like some sort of nostalgia or like longing. There's always like something about like not being able to quite have, it's not really tangible, or like there's something tragic. I think it's like I love tragedy and stuff. There's probably like a psychologist could analyze and be like, these are your problems. There's probably some major problems happening.
Talk to somebody, I think. Yeah.
Are your parents musical?
My dad is. Yeah, I don't know if he would still say he is, but he he used to like sing growing up and like I think like choirs and stuff, and like I remember as a kid he would kind of like walk around the house in the morning and just like make up random songs about what he was doing, like making coffee or whatever.
Do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
The first one I can remember that was like an actual song. Yeah, it was called Parting Ways.
Ooh, they're sad one.
Yeah.
What is that about?
I mean, it was like kind of not really about anything. It was like those first few songs I feel like I would write would have like, it would be kind of like about like a breakup, but I don't really understand what a breakup is. So it's kind of like a bunch of words that are like, there's one part that makes sense and then another 6 parts that don't make sense. So
what is your what's the meaning behind this blue painted flower? Is it like a melting flower, a bleeding flower?
Yeah, so it's this whole like blue paint thing. I'm gonna be kind of unfolding it over the next few releases.
Okay, because I noticed that there's like a blue trend going on with a lot of the stuff you do.
Yeah, I like blue a lot.
Because he's sad all the time, apparently.
I'm not sad all the time. I'm not.
Just kidding.
How often are you going to be releasing music? Because dude, you've been on my daily playlist solely because of Spotify.
Okay.
And music consumption is changing all the time.
Yeah.
Albums are not necessarily the thing. People release EPs every few months. And, people are releasing random one-off songs every couple weeks.
Yeah. What I can say is the flow is going to be getting a lot faster than it has been. Basically just been getting everything right, and then it's going to be coming.
Well, I Like Me Better as a hit. I'm playing it and I'm going to fight for it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
But know that it's a really great record.
Thank you so much.
Lyrics are awesome. The production, I really thought that was a freaking instrument, not your voice. It's such a good song.
Thank you.
And it tells such an awesome story in the music video. Bravo.
That was a fun video to shoot.
Was that your idea?
Yeah.
By the way, if you haven't seen it, it's like you and whoever your girlfriend is doing things that, like, if it cuts between an old couple who looks just like them and then them doing the exact same stuff. It's beautiful.
The old couple is so cute. I was honestly pretty nervous going into it because it's like we're all meeting on set for the first time, that morning. I'll just show up, like nobody's met each other, so I had to hope the chemistry, especially with them, was going to be good, and I thought they did a great job. So.
Were you nervous? I mean, nervous obviously for chemistry, but like it's your first big music video.
Yeah,
you have a love interest.
Yeah,
Yeah. Are you cool with the?
I wasn't as nervous about that part. Yeah.
Okay. Are you cool with the camera famous part of this?
Like, what do you mean?
Like being on camera, being the face, being super famous?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it at all. I mean, it's definitely not. I'm not like trying to be like constantly in the camera. I'm not that kind of guy. But yeah,
not yearning for the spotlight.
I'm not. I don't want it to be all about that as opposed to being about the music.
That's always the focus.
Yeah.
So do you have a goal for the next year? End of 2017 into 2018?
Just a lot more touring, which we actually are going to be announcing. So I'm excited to announce that. I've spent too much time just in the studio. I'm ready to get out and meet people and play songs.
Well, and what do you get from being out in the world besides obviously being able to perform? I mean, you get to interact with people. You get to live life.
I mean, I think it's really cool to actually full on meet fans. First of all, like when I did my little headlining tour earlier this year. A couple of people came up to me with tattoos of my song titles or lyrics, and it's like that where it really grounds you, and you're like, this is when you're reminded that what you're doing is important to somebody is really cool, because it's easy to forget that, I think. So it's that, and then also just going new places and getting out of a routine.
Does the connection your lyrics have with people because they are so deep, meaningful, and really personal to you, but also when that's art, right? When I hear it, it's personal to me now.
Yeah.
Is there pressure around that? Like knowing that your lyrics do have so much meaning?
I won't say there's pressure, but it always reminds me when I'm writing, I'm always there's always a meter in my head. If I'm is this the most honest way I could say this? Because if I'm just saying something and I'm not really giving it to you, people aren't going to connect to it in that way. You know what I mean? You have something that I think is really real when people feel the need to themselves post it on Twitter or something, you know what I mean, where it's you're saying something that's real that people haven't quite heard it that way. I think that's a really beautiful thing.
You've been in LA a year. What have you learned over the last year?
The LA is a weird place.
Yeah,
it's pretty.
LA is a weird place.
Yeah.
That's that. I mean, okay, not only that, I mean, I definitely feel I've learned a lot about myself because I was in school before and in New York and kind of distracted. So I've had a lot of time just to myself and spent, I guess just a lot of time being really just getting really comfortable with everything, that I've, been through and everything that I'm feeling and just kind of trying to put it out.
You've been also thrown and hit with a ton of new challenges and new places and circumstances and positions to be in and create in.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Do you, Lauv, that's your name.
That it is.
What about you as a lion?
Well, so I mean, my name, Ari, my real name, Ari, means lion, and I was born in August. I'm a Leo. I don't know though.
Lots of lines.
Yeah.
But Lauv
People would
means
say I'm stubborn and
okay.
passionate, I guess.
Like a lion.
yeah, like
right?
a Leo.
Yeah.
What do you think about when people leave comments on your like videos like I love this song?
I think it's at first I was kind of like, oh man, but I like it. It's kind of it's cute. I guess
it?
you know.
Always.
like-
It's always cute.
Yeah, it's kind of cute. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, like before I knew how to pronounce your name, I was like maybe it is love because
Yeah.
like maybe the A is silent or something. So and then I realized that's not how you say your name.
Yeah, why would
Yeah.
the A be silent, Dan?
No, he's not the only one. People think people think it's like
I mean, when you see
Lauv or love.
Lauv, you don't think Lauv. I don't think
Yeah.
loud with a V. I think love. Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to say it like that.
Yeah.
Loud.
I never intended for like the whole that whole thing to happen.
There's a giant confusion with the name.
that and also people using it as like a kind of like a pun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I kind of feel like I'm definitely gonna use that for something.
It could be merch.
Exactly.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
I love
There's like
this.
part of me that's like oh god, but then the other part of me is like
This is the branding, that could that you could have been waiting for.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
You watch the VMAs?
I actually didn't.
You listen to the radio?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, you fan of pop
I've
music?
actually
What?
No, I hate pop music. This
He
is
just
super
writes it.
random. I've been like randomly listening to. I've been getting up every morning and listening to. What is it? This is super random. I think it's like what's the classical station?
No.
Oh, here?
Here?
Oh, I have
Yeah,
no
like
idea.
91.5 or something.
Sure.
Is it the Wave?
I don't even know.
It's
but
not
like
classical.
I just stumbled upon it one day and I
Yeah.
was like, yo, I like never listened to classical music, but it reminds me of like the holidays at my grandparents' house or something. So it's like
Yeah.
so nice because I've been so stressed out recently and like things have been so crazy that it's nice to like get up and just like hear like a
Nice
concerto or something.
Nice.
That's
Awesome.
beautiful.
What's
Yeah.
cooler for you, having a song like your own be really successful, or having a song that you wrote when like Demi Lovato is on it?
I mean, it's definitely more fulfilling for it to be my own thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's his.
Yeah.
Well, I know it must be
I
pretty
don't know
cool
if
as
that's
a
like an ego
songwriter.
thing, but yeah.
Well, no. I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool. Like you wrote a song and Demi Lovato is now.
I mean, yeah, that's
Working on it.
that's crazy, and the fact that that song, I guess, is going top 10 at pop radio is crazy to me. Like, yeah,
Can you listen to pop songs and like enjoy them, or do you just tear them apart in your head?
I definitely, I talk about this with my other songwriter producer friends a lot. Yeah, it's definitely like it's hard to just listen as a fan sometimes, especially like with pop music, except for when you hear those rare gems of songs that are like anomalies that are like they're hits and you hear them and they make it to pop radio, but they're like
Because there's
so
no-
different and
yeah.
so just real. I mean, to me that's like goal is right there, is making music that can reach a lot of people, but it doesn't feel like it was made to reach a lot of people.
And there's no equation to it,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
you can tear apart a lot of songs and you can really break it down to its core.
Yeah.
And understand what makes it a hit, right?
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, because I honestly spent, even before college, I spent a lot of time kind of like studying, just like tearing apart massive songs and trying to understand. I just was always kind of interested, like what makes a big pop song. Because like, when I was an artist as a kid, I was like, why can't I write a song that gets big? I was like putting them on MySpace and they wouldn't get big. And I was like, what's going on? And then so I spent a long time studying it. So it's kind of weird having that kind of perspective as well.
And now you're in it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Do you make this haunting music on purpose, or is it just happen?
Not on purpose.
Okay.
It's just what he
Yeah,
feels.
Yeah. Just kind of happens.
Cool.
You're
Yeah.
looking through YouTube comments over there.
Well, I was just seeing what people are saying.
What are they saying?
I like it. Where's the rest of the music? Where's more?
Definitely that. Yeah. More songs.
Lost in the Light is the EP now.
Yeah.
When do we have a date on what's next?
Don't have a date, but I can tell you there's a lot more music.
Nice.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
a tour, right? You said, but not
Yeah.
yet.
Well, you're
Yeah.
doing a few more dates in October.
I'm going on tour with Louis the Child, which I'm really excited about.
Cool.
And then we're about to announce some more touring. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there anybody you'd want to collaborate with on an actual song?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. Well, there's a few.
Put them
Chris,
out into the universe.
Chris Martin would definitely be a huge one. Just, I mean, yeah. Like just-
Icon.
Yeah.
Martin.
Icon in terms of like feels. And then there's this producer. I think I might be pronouncing his last name wrong. His name's Sam Galatry. If you guys know him.
No.
Yeah, he's like from like Norway or Finland or something like that. He's just like a young prodigy. I saw him live. He's just crazy, just totally cutting edge.
Do you reach out to a kid like that and say, "Yo, let's work together"?
I haven't like reached out like full on. I've like I mentioned him though. So yeah, I definitely
it-
mention him in interviews and
it
like
out
there. There you
Twitter
go.
and stuff. Yeah. he's
Has
just-
anybody reached out to you wanting to work with you?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, no, I mean I definitely have gotten some collaboration opportunities.
Who slid into your DMs recently? Because I know that's how people do it. Like a lot of artists will reach out to other artists and just to get it done.
Yeah. This dude actually today. Blood Pop.
Oh, yeah.
The guy with
Yeah.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I'm like a massive fan of him, so I would love to get in the studio with him.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and he just reached out. So
And Chris Martin, like, he embraces the next generation of artists. He did that record with the Chainsmokers.
yeah, I think that's cool because people can like make fun of that all the time. Like people can like a lot of people like to on Coldplay, right? People are like, and I'm just like, you know what? Like, if what I feel like about Chris Martin is he's genuinely just being who he is, and you can't blame somebody for being like that. So if you know at a certain point people find it cheesy, it's like whatever.
He is the most positive, caring, and loving
Yeah.
person I have ever shared a room with. And by
Okay.
room, I mean just in a space with him. It's
Yeah.
it radiates off of him.
Yeah.
So you're right. People do give them a lot of shit for that reason, thinking
Yeah.
it's corny and kitschy.
It's like people think that like, you know, feeling things in general is kind of corny.
How
yeah,
dare
I'm-
you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Coldplay per se, but after meeting Chris Martin, I'm a fan of Chris Martin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also, like, it put in perspective that, like, the Coldplay art, like, isn't, you know, bull squash. Like,
Well, no.
it's
I mean,
legitimate.
People like it. It's
What does that
popular,
mean,
it's
bull
good.
squash?
Instead
Dan?
of bullshit.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I get
He's
it.
trying not to curse.
Yeah. It's like
You know, I've already cursed twice in this.
Exactly.
I may have. I don't know.
Lauv, Lost in the Light, that is the EP tour, second small round happening in October. Go and do yourself a favor and listen to the other and listen to I Like Me Better. They're great records, man. A lot of credit and a lot of love. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming by.
You as well. Thank you so much
Thank
for having
you.
me. Appreciate it. Thank you.